Welcome back to InfoWars Nightly News. You know, we go wherever the truth leads us, and the globalists operate basically in the dark to the general public only because the general public is so focused on sports, entertainment, the latest tabloid garbage. So the establishment pretty much operates in plain view of everyone who is awake. The problem is the general public is so naive, and we saw this with Nazi Germany and things. People couldn't believe what they were doing, or mass murder of tens of millions went on from 1917 up into the late 40s in the Soviet Union, and people called it a conspiracy theorist. J. Edgar Hoover, the head of the FBI, in 1951 testified before Congress that there was no such thing as organized crime or La Cosa Nostra. We now know that's ridiculous today. And it is this naivete that allows evil to operate. Now, we're going to break down with one of the leading fighters for liberty over in England in a moment, Brian Garish, how the tax-free foundations and so-called, charity takeover of the West ties into some very, very dark areas of intelligence gathering, surveillance, you name it. And how children's charities are at the heart of this. In Europe, in England, I've had members of parliament on from England, same story as Congress people I've had on from state legislatures and federal. It's the same story. CPS, very high levels of pedophiles on record. Highest level of pedophilia, even the Justice Department says, is in CPS. Just incredible information, Child Protective Services. And more we understand this is what you have to be involved in to get into the highest levels. We're dealing with a pedophile cult. At the heart, there's also a lot of occultism and Satanism. We've seen, of course, the big sex orgy type stuff that Dominique Strauss-Kahn admits with prostitutes that was described by the New York Times as eyes wide shut. That's really the parlor entrance to all of this. You've got to be fully compromised, and that's what we see connected into Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, so many of these things. And for those of us that are seen as, squares or seen as profane and pathetic, who are just normal and like our families, like our wives, like our husbands, we are the bad guys, and we don't pass the test to get into the higher rooms, and that's why evil has been in control for so long. And if you look at every ancient culture ended up being taken over by corrupt elements, and it always ended up with, give us your virgins for sacrifice. Give us your children for sacrifice. And so there is